Okay folks, welcome back to the channel. As always, I do thank you for watching, and it is Saturday, middle of January, and like I've been saying, I've got to wait for the weather to get better, and unfortunately here we are again. It's my weekend, and guess what? We've got a very strong cold front pushing through. 30-mile-an-hour winds, about 40 degrees, makes it feel much colder. And I've been talking about how the resin doesn't perform as well when you do a fiberglass layup in cold weather, and wait for the weather to improve. But it's not just the impact on the resin, it's also the impact on me. I'm older. I just don't tolerate the cold as well as I used to. So there's a reason why I don't want to get out here when it's 40 degrees and try to work on this. Now I did come back out and work on this just a little bit more. I showed you that in the last video. I did lay in some fairing compound around these edges just to kind of smooth out that corner, that inside corner right there. And like I said, we want a nice smooth transition from this surface to the top of this pad right here. And that's what I was working on here a couple of nights ago when I got home from work. But hopefully this wind's supposed to die down tomorrow, and it is supposed to warm up just a little bit. And so I'm going to make every effort to get out here and start tackling this fiberglass, because I want to get this done. I'm very anxious to get this done. Very anxious to get this boat on a trailer, get it out to Grapevine Lake, and do my float test. And I'm hoping to do that here within the next 6 to 8 weeks. All right, folks. All right, everyone, I'm back, and I'm out here today working on this mount for this bow eye right here. And well, there's more to it than just drilling 2 holes for that U-bolt. I showed you that in the last video. I've got to go up underneath here and route out some material right here, because I got to install the nuts, and I've got to have room to put a box end wrench on this. And so what I'm probably going to have to do is come in here and bond. Let me find my fingers right there. I'm going to have to bond. We're going to wait till that FedEx plane goes overhead, or it might be Amazon. But anyway, I've got to come in here and bond another little piece of wood to get that level, right where you see me putting my fingers right there. And I'm going to come in and bond another little piece in there, so that when I go to install those nuts and that other little piece of stainless that goes with that, it'll have a nice flat surface to sit on. I've got to basically, where you see this V angle right here, let me pan back a little bit. I'm going to have to kind of just level this off right in here. Now, I have not worked on the fiberglass here for the past week or so, because I've had some health issues, and this involves inner ear problems. Just been having a lot of dizziness and lightheadedness, and hopefully the medication the doctor put me on will take care of that. Boy, I hope so, because man, it's no fun when you have equilibrium problems like that. Just not being able to really, walk across the room, without having to catch your balance. Yeah, this is what fluid in the inner ear feels like. Starting to get a little bit better, but like I say, I still got to get that medication time to kick in. Okay, that's enough about that. I need to get back to work on this. I'm going to have to open this up just a little bit more. Like I said, I'm going to come in here with a little sander on the end of the Dremel tool, and I've got this little attachment that goes on my Dremel, and I'll just put a little drum sander on that and just open that up until I get that area large enough to accept a box end wrench, so I can get those nuts installed on the other side of that U-bolt. All right, folks, next segment. All right, so I got this opened up right here, probably much as I need to. I may have to come in here and open this up just a little bit more here on this aft side right here, where I'm running my finger back and forth, just so I can get the box end wrench in there. But I did a little test on that a while ago, and looks like it's going to work. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to bond a little piece of that 1/4" Meranti in right here, just to give myself a flat surface on this side, same as I have right here. And they'll just give me not two nice flat surfaces to bolt that U-bolt in. And of course I'm going to have to cut it off. I'm going to have to cut it to length. That is stainless steel. It's 316 stainless, so should be good to go forever. I will fiberglass this first before I install it. Once I get the fiberglass on, I'll have to come back and re-drill the holes. That's fine. And after that, then I'll go ahead and install it, and I'll install it with a marine sealer so it doesn't leak. Alright folks, I will catch you later. Alright folks, as soon as that plane goes by, man, it's been busy this afternoon. Y'all ordering a lot of stuff from Amazon. Alright, so I got this pad all ferried out, ready for fiberglass, and then up underneath here, same thing. Watch that bright sun. Same, I got this little pad bonded in place right here, and that epoxy is still wet. I just finished that like 2 seconds ago, and that's what I was talking about. I needed a flat surface in there just like on the outside, and once that epoxy has set up, I will go ahead and drill my holes, and I'll go ahead and get that piece cut. Now I won't put it in until after the fiberglass work is done, and until after I get the paint on the boat. And so that's it for now. That's all for this afternoon. I'm pretty well just played out. I talked about that earlier, and it's now time to just go inside and hit the couch. Still not 100% just yet, but we are on the road to recovery. And all right folks, that's it. That's all I have for you. I do wish I had a little bit more footage, and I do wish I was fiberglassing the hull right now, but you know, it's just things just didn't work out that way. But this had to get done. All right folks, next segment. Okay, it's been a few hours, and that little pad that I bonded on earlier, still a little bit sticky. It did get a little bit cool this afternoon. We had a cold front blow through. This is that piece of plywood. A few weeks ago, you saw me in the previous video. I bonded a piece of fiberglass to this. I was just, remember I said I was experimenting, just to testing the resin, seeing how it was going to behave and everything. But I'm ready for round 2 on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some little fiberglass squares here, some little pieces or rectangles, whatever. And I'm going to laminate a second layer of fiberglass cloth to this piece, but I'm not going to do it in one whole piece. I'm going to do it in strips. And the reason is I want to see how the fiberglass is going to laminate to a piece that has already cured. And of course, this has been, gosh, set up now for a few weeks. I did this like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But what I did was I prepped it a little bit differently in certain spots. Like right along in here, I just took my paint scraper and knocked down all the high spots, anything that could potentially cause an air bubble to pop up underneath that little strip that I'm going to bond to that here in a moment. Right along in here, I just took some really fine sandpaper and just went over it. And then down here, same thing, I took some fine sandpaper and just kind of scuffed it a little bit right here. And I'm going to bond a piece of cypress wood to this in this lower corner right here using thickened epoxy. I want to see how this bonds to cured fiberglass. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm just waiting for that perfect storm of weather and good health to converge so I can get back on this. No need to talk about that. But I'll set the camera up here in just a moment when I get the resin mixed up and get these pieces cut. And I'll just walk you through that and let you see that process. Of course, I mean, it'll be overnight before it cures. Because again, like I said, the weather did get a little bit cool on us, but that's okay. This is just a test piece. No harm, no foul. Okay, so those are my test pieces right there. And like I said, I just want to see what works best. This little area right here, I just knocked down the high spots with a scraper. Little paint scrapers around here somewhere. I misplaced it. No, but it's just like a ordinary paint scraper that you get from Home Depot. This area right here, like I said, I lightly sanded it with some, I think it was like 240 grit sandpaper. Wasn't real coarse. You know, all you want to do is just scuff it. You're really not trying to remove any material. Just trying to break the glaze. Same here, and then I'm also going to bond a piece right here, just right over the fiberglass. I want to see how these pieces will bond to the fiberglass, because I may have a couple of places where I'm going to have to bond some little pads. You know, I talked about these strakes right here that I was going to bond in place after I put the fiberglass cloth on. So I just want to see how well that bonds and make sure that after it cures we don't have any delamination issues. So like I said, I'm going to get the resin mixed up and get the camera set up, and I'll be right back. Okay folks, I got my resin mixed up. I did have to thin with a little bit of acetone on account of the temperature. One thing about that marine epoxy from Boat Builder Central is it does tend to be very temperature sensitive. I mean, the viscosity gets really thick as the temperature drops, and I guess that's true of any fiberglass resin, but that was the one thing that I noticed that was different about this from the Total Boat product that I was using, was the thinner viscosity, and that's what makes the marine epoxy easier to use, of course, provided, you know, the temperature is in the right range. So okay, that's enough talking. So let me get this done. I'm going to fast forward from this point. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix in the Cavasil. Hopefully I can get that Cavasil mixed in to the resin right there before it fires off. It's already been a few minutes, so you know how that goes. You've seen what's happened in the past when I don't get the Cavasil mixed up fast enough. So I'm going to shut the camera off here momentarily. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Got the thickened epoxy mixed up. I'm not going to put a fillet bead around this edge right here. I just want to see how well it sticks. I'm not really concerned with how it looks. Here goes. Get that out your way there. Now you know what I need to do. I need to wet this down. I took some of that resin and poured it into another cup. Just trying to simulate real world conditions here. And I always wet this down before I apply Cavasil, thickened epoxy. So, let's wet her down. Okay, I will set those aside until morning, and I'll just come back and check on this piece tomorrow, give that overnight to cure. And I do have one more little experiment that I want to conduct tonight. I didn't tell you about it. It's kind of related to some other YouTube videos I've been watching, more related to woodworking than boat building. But I'll be right back. I'll explain it a little bit more here in a moment. Okay, so what I have here is a piece of cypress wood that's got a knot in it, and I've been watching some guys on YouTube who have been using fiberglass resin, and they tint the fiberglass resin with things like ceramic tile grout, dyes that they buy off of Amazon. But I was kind of wondering when I saw that how well things like wood flour would work, and I'm pretty sure wood flour would work for that. But also, tonight I'm going to do something that's just a little bit different. And what I've got right here, what I'm going to use to tint that resin, very finely ground coffee. And the color is right, and it's also, you know, coffee beans, they're organic. Wood is organic, so, you know, why not? Like I said, you may run into a situation in boat building where you've got a nice piece of cypress wood, but it's got a split or it's got a knot in it, and you might need to fill it up. So yeah, we're gonna experiment. We're gonna play around a little bit. Like I said, I'm waiting for that perfect storm of good health and good weather to return, plus having a full day off to get all this fiberglass work done. So might as well just kind of experiment a little bit. So once again, I'm going to get this mixed up. I'm going to turn the camera off, and then when I get that ready, get that resin colored the way I want it, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is why we experiment. And one thing I did notice is that the coffee does not dissolve quite as well as wood flour does. And we still got a color change right there, and I'm going to mix this up a little bit more. It may just be that I did not beat the coffee up enough in my coffee grinder. I've got a little coffee bean grinder, and this actually started out as whole beans right here, but probably could have mixed it up a little bit longer and got that powder just a little bit finer. But I'm going to mix it up a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. Alright, that's about as much as I'm going to be able to get that to dissolve. So here goes. We're just going to go ahead and pour it in, and again, come back and check on that in the morning. This could be a big fail here, I don't know. I know there are some things you cannot use to thicken epoxy. Cornstarch is one of them. Do not ever use cornstarch. It will neutralize the catalyst. That's why you cannot use cornstarch. I found that out the hard way. And then yeah, I had to go look that up online. Sure enough, do not use cornstarch. I mean, I don't know. This is why we experiment. Well, this could be, you know, success. It could be an epic fail. I don't know. It's just a scrap piece of wood, though. That's all. All right. Okay. And again, we'll just set that aside, see how that turns out. Like I said, the coffee beans, it may neutralize the catalyst, I don't know. But it is a scrap piece of wood. Now, on this other piece over here, there are some things that I needed to know. And that's why I put these little test strips on here. That's why I laid up these little test strips of fiberglass here, and that's why I bonded these pieces of cypress to the cured fiberglass like I did. I need to know how that's going to turn out. But over here, yeah, we're just having fun with resin tonight. And like I said, I'll check on that in the morning. I'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it will cure. It's only one way to know. That's we'll find out in the morning. All right, folks. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. God bless. And we will catch you in the next video.